This is 26. There's another one here. What's it?
This is the
Recording
old-
in
yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I'll be right with you.
All right.
Yay. I'm gonna turn my video on here. Okay, there I am.
6 feet tall, 12, so
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, we all ready to go?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Good evening. My name is Sean Igo. I'm the chairman of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. We will now convene the February 12th, 2026 meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. This is a hybrid meeting and it is being recorded. We will begin by taking a roll call for a quorum. Mr. Martin,
Here.
Mr. Mantoni,
Here.
Ms. Murphy,
Here.
and Mr. Panabianco.
Here.
Okay, and I am here as well. With a quorum present, I will now call the meeting to order. The first matter on our agenda is petition 5005, Blue Sky Towers 3 LLC, doing business as BSTMA LLC. Property is located at 1044 Route 28, Yarmouth, Mass. It's in a B2 zoning district in an HMOD 1 and VC3. The applicant seeks a special permit per 103.2.2 and section 408 to construct a 110-foot wireless telecommunications facility tower. The hearing is held pursuant to the district court's remand order of January 5th, 2026, case number 123-CV12334. Are the petitioners present? If so, please come forward.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank
Good
you,
evening.
Mr. Chair. Matt Provencher, I represent the Board of Appeals in the district court litigation that was referenced. I just wanted to do a little table setting. We had discussed this previously. I had talked with the board in a private session about whether it would be willing to accept a remand of this project to hold a new hearing on the remand. The project design principals have revised some plans. They're going to make some changes. I think they're ready to go over each of those with you tonight. I know there was some questions. I advised them through their attorney of what the board's likely concerns would be, what information it would want to hear during this process, and so you should be able to expect that you can present to them any questions or concerns that you have and figure out what it looks like. I know that the original... Sorry, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to wait for someone's phone to stop ringing. The original announcement maintains the proposal formally for the 110-foot tower. You'll hear about what changes have been made, what the new plans expect to show. Those should have been dropped off in hard copy, and you should have an electronic copy available. If you want to make reference to any of those, I'm sure they're prepared to field any questions. Do you have any questions for me before you start hearing anything on the renewed application? This is just a regular special permit hearing. It's as though you were hearing it for the first time. Procedures, depending on how this hearing goes, may vary, but as to what your duties have to be, they're exactly the same as you would be if you were hearing this as a special permit application in the first instance.
Does anyone have questions for our counsel?
No.
Okay, so that I will turn it over to the representatives from Blue Sky. They have an attorney here, and they also have one of the principals of that firm here to discuss it with you. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Provencher.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, staff, good evening. My name is Earl Duvall. I'm with the law firm of Duvall and Associates. I'm here tonight on behalf of Blue Sky Towers. With me this evening is Sean Gormley, and Sean is a project manager for this specific project.
Okay.
So I'd first like to thank Matt for setting the table for us. As you all know, this is based upon a joint motion to remand back to this board. So it was agreed upon through litigation by counsel for Blue Sky and counsel for the town. I think it's probably helpful for everyone for me to just give a little bit of brief history as to the first application, that was filed, or the subject matter here, and then highlight what the changes are to what is being proposed, this evening. And I think it might be helpful for you folks, and I think you have the plans there in front of you. If you flip to sheet A4, that's the compound plan and elevation plan. So as you folks may recall, the original proposal, 110-foot monopole style tower, that went to the Cape Cod Commission, was approved by the Cape Cod Commission, came back to town, went through the Design Review Committee, and as a result of work with the Design Review Committee, we ended up with what you folks are probably most familiar with, the three-face clock tower. That three-face clock tower was going to sit within a 55-foot by 60-foot fenced compound on a 100 by 100 leased area that we have. We had two carriers at that time. T-Mobile was going to be at 105-foot center line. AT&T was going to be at 93-foot center line. The clock tower, again, 110 feet tall. The top of the roof extended up to 115 feet. So that was the original proposal and what was denied by this board. So throughout the litigation and some mediation and negotiations, what we have come up with, or what the discussion had been, is we still have a 100 by 100 leased area with the church. We're still having a fenced compound of 55 feet by 60 feet. But rather than the 115-foot three-face clock tower, what is being proposed, and you can see that there on sheet A4, is a 93-foot monopole style tower. Now, you'll see on there that AT&T would be at a 86-foot center line. The top of that antenna would extend to the 90-foot mark, and then from 90 to 93 is the separation space that would need to exist between the top of AT&T's antennas and the top of that structure, so that the town could put public safety equipment on there. So again, 93-foot monopole, 86-foot center line for AT&T, and the need for the 3 feet is for potential interference between AT&T and a town antenna. The compound was moved 28.5 feet to the west and 30 feet, just over 30 feet to the south. The reason for this move throughout discussions was to be able to preserve the existing tree buffer as much as possible, and also to move us further away from the tree line for any and all digging, so that we would not disturb or would disturb less any root systems that might be there. There's discussion with regards to if there was any damage to any of the trees and any of the limbs, were to die, that those limbs would be taken down, because you'll note on not only just sheet A4, but if we go to A5, there's a planting plan, and there's a significant amount of plants that would be planted around the perimeter of the site there. So that's sort of the overview of the differences and the reason for the move. If the board has any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for counsel for the petitioner?
I have one anyways. Is the number of parking spaces the same for the church? Or the encroach on some of that?
We're actually, we have to get access into the facility itself, so if you look at that,
Right.
A4 drawing, we're taking up approximately, it looks like two spaces, maybe 2.5, but in general, these facilities don't get a lot of traffic, so if there are services on a Sunday or, funeral during the week, parking there will most likely not be a problem. These sites are frequented approximately once a month by the carrier.
So we've gone down in height, about 20 feet or so?
22 feet, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 115 to 93, yes.
And no more design, just a basic,
Monopole style,
Yeah.
correct.
okay, and anything else yet?
Just give me some perspective. How many, compared to a building, how many stories high is this monopole?
It's
No, it just helps me think about it. I don't know what 98 feet is.
approximately 8, usually
8 stories?
about 8 levels, yeah, correct. It's usually about 12 feet per story,
Okay.
approximately, depending upon the actual construction.
And the plantings, is there any chance? I mean, they're 3 to 4 feet.
So,
Any chance
so
you could increase the, the size of those initially? That's not gonna help much, 3 feet.
But we do, one thing to note too, we do have a solid wood fence around the compound, so you're not gonna be able to really see inside the compound and see the equipment.
So these plantings are just sort of to buffer that?
Yeah, make it
that's
look a little bit
correct,
nicer. And they'll, obviously they'll grow over time.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's what I have right now, but I may come back with more.
Okay. Mr. Mantoni?
Is AT&T the only carrier on the pole as of now?
I believe that there's an agreement also signed with T-Mobile.
In how many more can be added?
If you look at sheet A4 again, which is
Yeah.
the tower elevation.
Yeah.
It's
4,
3.
3 plus the
Three.
town?
Yep.
Not including the town?
not including the town, right.
And just one more question. You said you moved the location. I think you said 30 feet west, and then south?
28 and a half feet to the west and 30 feet to the south. And the reason for that was to be able to stay outside of the existing tree buffer as much as possible.
So you're moving closer to Route 28?
away.
away.
away, yep.
I'm not, because if I look at the original plan, it looks like it's the exact same location, but that's all right. I mean, if you're telling me you moved it. So we're going, what, up closer to Long Pond?
I think that's correct.
Yeah, okay.
It would be further away from 20.
28,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And a little to the left, not by much.
gotcha. All right.
I do have a visual here, if you'd like me to share that. It
Okay.
shows it's just of the,
You want to see that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, thank you.
if I may. Sorry. It just shows the distances.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is stuck together.
Is there a gradient, sorry if I'm,
No, go ahead, I'm through.
is there a gradient difference from the location of the prior plan to the current plan, from where the tower is wanting to be?
It's approximately the same elevation.
I've been over there, so I think it's flat, but in the new plan, you have the AMSL listed, but in the old plan, you don't. Do you know what it is on the old plan, where the top of the tower would be?
The AMSL and the old,
Yeah,
the original.
I'm just not looking, maybe it's on there and I'm not seeing it, but
Yeah, actually, if you give me a second, I have the old
I have the
drawings.
plan.
Oh, you do?
Plans here.
So it would be. 12.6, so it'd be 12.6 approximately, and then plus 115. So about 124, 125 AMSL difference.
that's all I had.
Okay,
on
thank
my
you.
side.
In terms of the antennas, I see a potential of 3. Will there be any more than 3?
Sorry, let me just look 1 second. So AT&T is proposing 6 total, so there'll be 2 per face. So if you look at CA4, you'll see kind of it's called the antenna plan. Go up. They could potentially add more antennas for future technologies, potentially. But those antennas would be added between the antennas on the ends of the platform itself.
So they'd be more internal to what you would put up right now for an array? Would they go inside that?
Yeah, so if you see the faces, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 faces, it looks like a triangle. So any additional
yeah.
antennas would go between the 2 existing.
Okay. And how wide are those? I think are they measuring 12 feet wide?
The size of those.
The platform itself could be about 12 to 12 and a half feet wide.
Do they have to be a minimum of 3 feet apart?
So that's the separation between those particular antennas. So I'm not an RF engineer, so I can't exactly speak to that. Different carriers do different configurations. So sometimes if well, you probably may not have seen this, but Verizon sometimes will put 2 antennas directly next to each other. I don't know why. I'm not an RF engineer.
Okay, so we don't have the actual antennas. We just have what could be concept antennas?
No, these are their
No, these are their actual antennas. And if you look at
CA4.
CA4, they have this, they're the specs.
Yep. Okay. It's just where you kind of caught me a little bit when you said that the different carriers have different antennas.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, again,
So
I'm not
what
an
would
RF
this
engineer.
one be typical of?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
AT&T or?
This is
Yeah,
AT&T.
This is AT&T.
Yeah. This is,
Okay,
this is
okay.
specifically AT&T. This is their most recent configuration for this particular site.
But I think,
But in terms
it's
of
safe.
the number of arrays, you have, we'll call them arrays, 3 separate ones.
That's
Okay,
correct.
coming down the pole. There would be no more, there wouldn't be a 4th one added?
Yeah, the tower's being designed to accommodate the 3 carriers. So,
Okay, okay. What color is that pole gonna be?
Typically, it's a galvanized gray.
Yeah, can it be white?
It can be,
Okay, so that would be okay, a condition that it be white?
if I may caution though, if you don't mind.
Okay,
When you paint towers, in my opinion, they typically tend to stick out more. Because galvanized gray is, I don't know, it's more of like a neutral color.
okay.
Tends to reflect sunlight a little bit better, blends in. But whatever you guys want to do, it's neither here nor there for us. But you know, I've painted more than a few towers in my career, and they do tend to.
Well, that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna ask you. Are they all galvanized steel? Is that what they're made out of?
Correct.
I see. If you did paint it, what would be the life of that paint, if you know?
I don't.
How
They're
often do
usually-
you have to repaint towers, if you know?
You know, I've never
If-
repainted a monopole.
Yeah.
Typically, we've repainted, you've probably seen them around the Cape. They're the orange and white towers because they're painted for FAA visibility. Those can go 15, 20 years potentially before they get repainted.
I was thinking of the one that's over behind our South Yarmouth Post Office across the street. That one is white, I believe.
Is it white? Okay.
The only reason I raised it, I thought it was kind of a clean look. We can discuss that with the board, whether they think that is necessary. In terms of the antenna, do they come a certain color?
They're typically gray, like the pole itself, but those can be painted to
Okay.
match the tower itself.
All right. Do they have a gloss to them, or are they dull in color?
It's dull. Yeah, it's more like a flat-ish type color.
Okay, okay. All right. But we'd have no more than 3 of those, I call them arrays, coming down as represented on the plan. So there's not gonna be a 4th one someday down below?
Yeah, there's only 3 carriers right now.
Okay. Do you anticipate any more than 3?
I can't answer the question, unfortunately. I'm not sure.
And how busy does some of these, how many different carriers can you carry on one of those arrays?
Each array is 1 per carrier.
I see. What would be the reason that they'd need to add to it?
So if you look at the history of, cellular phones, if you go back in time, say go back 20 years, we had a progression of, cellular phones used to be just voice and text. Now we're up to 5G, which is, data, video. There's going to be 6G probably in the next 4 or 5 years, which is a different technology. So as technology changes, the carriers use those frequencies in different ways to transmit their signals. So the antennas have actually gotten a little bit larger over time. I don't know what's going to happen with 6G. It's kind of tough to tell at this point. It's a few years out before we understand, what they're going to need to do. So again, it's a tough call to see what these guys will do in the future. A lot of times they'll just swap out antennas to add a different frequency or a different technology. A lot of the equipment on the tower itself is like behind the antennas, some of the radios and whatnot, which you really don't see very well because the panels are out front. So, yeah, it's hard to nail down, but they do change over time. What it will be, it's hard to say.
And do you guys have a backup generator? I think we may have asked this before, down at the base?
Yes, yeah, the FCC mandates that the carriers have backup generators, because when you have power outages, they typically will have batteries to back up first and foremost, and those only last typically 8 hours, and then after that, the generators will kick in. So at least you can get, emergency phone calls out if necessary.
Right. And would that be powered by natural gas?
I think in this case, it's diesel. We'll have to-
Diesel?
I will have to double check.
Okay. So where would you store, so if it is diesel, now my next question is,
I'm sorry.
where are
It
you
is
gonna
propane.
store the diesel fuel?
It's propane.
propane.
Yeah, sorry.
It's propane, okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you planning on having propane tanks on site, or do you know if you're going to, because I know you have gas on Route 28, so you could conceivably pipe it in if you wanted to. Do you
Yeah.
know if you've made a decision on that?
Yeah, so AT&T is going with the diesel tank. If you look
Propane.
I'm sorry, propane.
Propane, okay,
The tank is actually on A4. If you look at the tower itself, it's to the right of the tower.
okay, all right, that's
Do they
fine.
do tanks?
And in terms of, so I'm good. I guess I was gonna ask, about noise and the generator, but I've heard a lot of generators that have started and ran during storms and stuff. They don't seem to project a lot of noise, and you are gonna be fenced in, correct? That generator will be within the fenced in area, I presume, correct?
That's correct.
And it's
Oh.
again, it's a solid fence too, so it should mitigate some of that sound.
Okay, now, who owns this tower?
It would be Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. And how many towers, if you don't mind me asking? Do you own a lot of towers?
We have a portfolio of about, my numbers are going to be vague, but it's about 140 to 170 different sites. But that's a combination of tower sites and rooftops. So we manage a bunch of rooftops as well. So I think the portfolio right now exists. I think it's like 40 to 50 tower sites.
All right. And have you ever had to take one down?
Not with Blue Sky.
Okay. Well, let me ask you that another way then. Have you ever personally been involved with deconstructing a tower?
Yeah, it's good. This probably goes back about 30 years. A company I used to work for, they built a tower, I believe it was in Rutland, Mass., and they never secured a carrier. But the zoning environment was different back then. So obviously, now when you go into zoning, you have a carrier attached to the application. Back then, they didn't have a carrier, so they built it on spec, and they never attracted a carrier, so that tower did have to come down.
And who paid to take it down?
I think it was the company that I worked for at the time.
Okay. Does your company carry an insurance policy to deconstruct these towers?
Yes, yes.
And if you know, what is the average cost, or what do you know, how much would it cost to take this one down? If, for instance, Blue Sky went out of business?
Yeah. So typically they're called tower removal bonds. They run between 20 and 30 grand typically for removal cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you be agreeable to a condition that you have to post some type of a bond?
Yes.
You would? Adequate to a sum certain to pay for the deconstruction of this tower in the event that it has to come down, say, for, let's say you guys ran into financial troubles or what have you, if it was abandoned?
Yep.
Okay,
Just-
all right,
just-
so
just-
we'll have a bond
Just to
on
make a
that.
note, though, too, hypothetically, if Blue Sky Tower were to go out of business, somebody else would take over the tower at that point, right? Because you have a customer, which is AT&T. They're going to want to continue their service in the area. So, the likelihood that the tower would have to come down just because Blue Sky went out of business was fairly remote.
No, I agree. I guess where my concern is that the advancement of technology today, we don't know from year to year how great the technology, when you say 20 years ago in cell phones, I remember cell phones years and years ago that compared to the cell phones and the smartphones today, it's the technology is really advanced. So maybe someday there won't be a need for these towers. Maybe there'll be a sufficient antenna built into the phone that you don't need them. So just for purposes of the town of Yarmouth having to stare at that particular tower in perpetuity, we could have a bond where there would be adequate funds to deconstruct that.
That would not be a problem.
Okay. Okay, all right. I think most of my other questions have been answered. Does the board have any further questions for the petitioner?
Yeah, I have a few. Sorry, Sean.
Go ahead. No, that's fine. Take your time, Anthony.
With the lease with the church, do they have a requirement for a bond for the No.
So,
All right. Sometimes you see that in those leases. If that existed, I wouldn't want to double up, but, all right.
Is there removal language in that lease?
I don't remember.
Generally, there is, though.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't have that ground lease with us, but generally, there is removal language in that lease agreement to protect the landlord.
Yeah. But if there isn't a bond, then I'm okay with us asking for a bond. I just wouldn't want to ask for you to put up two bonds.
We would have one bond for both if that was the case, yeah. It wouldn't matter.
That's it, Sean.
So we could say then, we could draw language in our decision that in the event that the use is abandoned for 2 years or more, that Blue Sky will agree to deconstruct it. When I say abandon, I mean all cell tower users. I'm just trying to get some language. I know the landlord might be protected, but I'm more concerned with the town and the aesthetic impact that it would have if that was no longer in use. If we don't need it, I mean, we all know we need it, okay? And as you're well aware, there wasn't a lot of support for it in that place, but we've agreed that there will be that tower there. So we're just, in the event that it has to be taken down. But we have that in our bylaw anyway, so, but I would like to have some type of language in the decision that says that if this use is abandoned for 2 years or more, you agree to take it down. That's not to say you couldn't come back and ask to, and we're not gonna do that anyway to you. We're gonna know we wanna work with you and we all want great cell service. I think we're all in agreement with that.
Fair.
Is that something, a condition that you could live with?
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yep.
Okay, all right. All right. Anything else from the board?
Yeah, Sean, you were suggesting you would rather see that pole painted white?
Well, I like everything white. It's my favorite color, so I mean.
Favorite color, all right.
We're partial to white.
I'm thinking with the sun and everything, that's just gonna be like a
I-
huge
I-
white
I
elephant.
only- I threw it out there just for purposes of discussion. I think the petitioner may have a better idea to just leave it as it is. It's kind of dull and it
Yeah, that's what I was
doesn't
thinking, yeah.
reflect.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. We'll
Okay.
just go with what they're suggesting.
Right, okay, thank you.
Oh. Anyone else? Hearing none. Is there anything else that the petitioner wishes to add at this time?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Sean?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Dolores, do we have anybody with their hands raised?
Not online. I don't know if people in the room wish to speak, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, we do have someone now raising their hand online. Joanne.
Okay, why don't we don't see anybody coming up to the microphone yet. We'll go to opposition in a second, but let's hear from the person who is online here with us. Joanne. Joanne, can you unmute yourself? There you go.
Chairman Igo, Joanne Crowley, Chair of the Planning Board.
Good evening.
Good evening. thank you for your consideration of this change for Blue Sky. As you know, the planning board over way back to 2022 had some issues about visibility and the concern of the height. And I'm not necessarily speaking for the board, but I know, given our position in the past, the lowering of the height of the pole is welcome. And the positioning back off of Route 28 is also a welcome change. But I would like to ask the petitioner about the landscaping and the trees on the drawing A5. What trees are being salvaged and what ones are new?
So on, let's see, I'm sorry, I just need to.
I think I have the right, I thought it was A5.
It is A5.
If not,
Correct, yeah. You can kind of see we're trying to save, I'm sorry,
Can see the existing tree.
yeah, you can see the existing tree line, but they notate by circles where there's some trees. I don't know if you can see that.
I'm looking at it right now.
So you see like below and to the right of the proposed landscaping, there's little circles that designate where the trees are. So the plan is to try and keep those intact as much as possible. But the concern that we have when we're doing construction is if you're digging and you encounter roots, and you have to dig in a certain spot and those roots get damaged, unfortunately the tree may die over time. So the instructions really for our contractor is to try and mitigate those trees and roots as much as possible. Unfortunately, I just can't guarantee anything because it is somewhat of a tight space. But we're gonna try and do everything we can to keep those trees. But one thing to note as well, if there are any branches that overhang the compound, those will have to be removed, but that really shouldn't affect the life of the tree.
I appreciate that. I noticed, again, that the one movement of the monopole was to the north by the 26 or 28 feet that you mentioned. And was there any consideration for moving it to any degree west?
We did move it slightly to the west, but at the same time, we're
Yeah.
trying to adhere to the setback requirement to the property line that's due west. You can kind of see that property line there, and there's a 105-foot setback. The other issue that we have as well is that we have to get the foundation in the ground, and then the other carriers. So it starts to limit us how far we can go over and still meet those setback requirements.
Yeah, again, the concern of the planning board was there's mature trees there, and to the degree that we can salvage them and keep them there, that would be helpful. And whatever new plantings that you can accommodate there at the site would be most welcome. Thank you, Chairman Igo.
Thank you, Joanne. We appreciate your input. Do we have anyone else with their hands raised, Loris?
No, Mr. Chairman, but you do have correspondence from the Conservation Commission.
Let me just go to that. Give me 1 second here. I know I had a memo somewhere.
Here, did we ask that?
Do we have anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in opposition to this? I'm going to read this memo into I have it right here in front of me, if I may. I have a memo from the address to the Zoning Board of Appeals from Joe Gerolimo, Conservation Agent, concerning property located at 1044 Route 28, dated February 2nd, 2026, regarding petition 5005. at its March 16th and April 6th, 2023 hearings, the Conservation Commission heard a notice of intent for the proposed construction of a telecommunications facility within land subject to coastal storm flowage. The commission issued the order of conditions for SE
Yeah, I
83.
actually, I met with,
I'm sorry, Joanne, are we getting some
It sounds like
feedback
it.
from someone? Order of conditions for SE 83-2382 on April 13th, 2023. The approved plans titled Blue Sky Towers 3 LLC Plan Set Sheets T1C1 A1 through A6 SE1 D1 CA1 through 4 EC1 was last revised on December 28th, 2022, and drainage report was last revised on December 29th, 2022. Special Condition 5 of the OOC Order of Conditions states, any change in the approved plan shall require the applicant to file in writing a notice of project change with this commission. Conservation Commission has not yet received or reviewed such notice. I guess also we'd put in our condition, as a condition, that you're required to amend your order of conditions and any notice of intent with the Conservation Commission. Everybody in agreement with that condition?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, all right, okay. I believe that's all the correspondence I have. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in opposition to this petition? If so, please come to the microphone. Seeing none. Okay, if the petitioner has nothing else to add, we're going to close the hearing to the public. We're going to open it up for board deliberation. Is anyone prepared to begin a discussion or to make a motion? Anthony, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with conditions. I'm happy to discuss this and see what we can do here to get this moving forward for the town. One of the things that, just to follow up on what Joanne was saying, in their A5, they have a landscape maintenance plan that they wanted one time per month for the first year, and it's kind of right in the bottom half of A5. And an annual inspection. I think we should make that longer than a year. I would ask that to be a condition, just to make sure that this is a heavily cited area, and we want to make sure that it's beautiful for the town and continues to be so. So I would ask that continue for longer than a year as one of our conditions, that we have control over that. I would ask for the bond that you spoke about and the monocolor gray. Those are all conditions that I would be comfortable approving. But those are the conditions that I would ask for.
Now, that maintenance plan, it's 1 year. Do you want to go 2 years? Could I suggest they do a maintenance plan for 2 years and longer? If any of their plantings die, they're required to replace them.
I'm good with that.
Is that agreeable to the petitioner?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll put some language in there. Longer, replace any plantings that die. Okay. And we'll do the bond sufficient to deconstruct the tower and all attachments in the event that the petitioner or the owner ceases use of it. I think the gray color that galvanized gray, whatever it is, I think that's certainly the best way to go. Anything that's not gonna really draw your attention. Okay. Number of carriers. The petitioner has represented that there will be no more than 3 carriers. I'd suggest we make that a condition if they want to add any further carriers to this, that they must return to the board and seek approval.
I'm good with that.
Is there any objection by the petitioner to those conditions?
No, Mr. Chairman,
Okay, all right.
as
So
long
we've
as
got
we can
number-
come back to the board.
No, oh, you certainly can come back to the board. No, we understand. Number of
Thank you.
carriers, 3, max. Any more must come back to the board. And we'll be incorporating their plans as represented to be true and accurate. And that they must amend any order of conditions with the Conservation Commission. I think that covers it. Does anyone else have anything? Did we miss anything?
That's good.
So is that so is it fair to say, Anthony, that you make a motion to approve the special permit as requested with those conditions as listed?
That is correct. I so moved.
Okay. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? The only thing that I would like to add is, I'm glad we reached this consensus, not only between board members, but with the petitioner as well. I think we all know that there's a very serious and dire need for better cell service on 28, especially in the summer months when sometimes you just can't really use your cell phones. I know there was a big concern with law enforcement that there was a problem or a potential problem with people calling 911, that they couldn't get through. So I'm glad we were able to reach this resolution. I certainly, and I think I can speak for everybody, that we look forward to much better cell service in the future. And we thank the petitioners for working with us, and I'm glad this all worked out.
Thank you.
With that, we will take a roll call. Mr. Panabianco,
Yes. Aye.
Mr. Mantoni,
Aye.
Ms. Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Reluctant aye.
Aye, okay. And I'm an aye as well. That passes 5 in favor, none opposed. As you, I'm sure you understand, I'm speaking to the petitioner, that there's a 20-day appeal period once it's clocked with the town clerk. After that appeal goes through, you can pick up your special permit at the from our administrative assistant, Dolores, and if you would record that at the Registry of Deeds and bring a copy back for our records. Do you have any questions, gentlemen?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I certainly want to thank our town council, Matt Proventia, for his assistance as well. Everyone have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just ugly and
Okay,
not
the
a
next
parking spot
petition
for-
is petition
Ugly and not a parking spot.
5210, Gregor Mittersinker and Bridget Leitner Mittersinker. The property is located at 27 Locust Street in South Yarmouth. It's in an R25 zoning district, and the applicant seeks a variance from section 203.5 for front setback relief to construct a garage.
Good evening.
Good evening. Would you identify yourselves for the record, please?
Yes, Gregor Mittelsinker.
Okay. And is that Mrs.?
Yes.
Oh,
Birgit
good
Leitner
evening.
Mittersinker.
Okay, thank you. All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? I think we know, but just give us a little rundown.
Yes, we are planning to build a garage and are asking for a variance to be able to do so.
Okay, okay. And we've got a set of plans here that you submitted to us that shows the house. Looks like you're gonna do a little remodeling on the house and you're gonna add a garage.
Correct.
Okay. And you need front setback relief because, hold on a second, I got it right here. You're required to have 30, and what do you have, 25?
I think so, yeah.
Let me see here, I got a small plan.
Actually,
What do we have, Dick? What do you see?
well, the road layout for Locust Street has a spur that runs down next to this property
Yeah,
to a dead end and another driveway for a house across the way. So I believe that road layout for that is within 2 feet of the proposed garage or so. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that?
Within 2 feet or so of the proposed garage, the way, I mean, I know you front Locust,
oh,
but Locust has a spur that runs it down to a dead end that also serves your neighbor kind of to the side.
Undeveloped road on the west side of the property.
oh,
Correct.
yeah, I know what we're talking.
Now-
Okay,
now
so
granted,
you're
it's
gonna
not-
utilize that to get into your garage.
Yeah, now granted, it's not really used for anything other than their driveway and what will be your driveway, I guess. But I think you're looking relief, pretty extreme relief, right up to 1 or 2 feet from the road layout. You're, in other words, you're really on a corner there. And I think that, you've got two 30-foot setbacks, which, needless to say, we're not accommodating.
Are you
I don't find
showing
anything
that
bad, but, well, if you
16
look at
and
one of the,
Yeah,
if you
I
look at
see
the
it
little-
right here. Mine's a little smaller. I don't know if you have a
Right.
larger.
if you look at the front page of this,
Yeah,
it shows you that that road layout continues down to a dead end there.
mm-hmm.
It serves that house to the left. And even though it doesn't go anywhere, it's a dead end and so forth and so on, I think they may be needing to look for additional relief of some sort.
Is that 16 and a half feet? Is that to the center line of that way?
Correct.
The
So
two,
basically,
the two
you've got
dashed,
about-
yeah, that's right, that's to the center line. So the dashed line close to the septic system there is the road layout, I believe.
Yeah. It is septic, yeah. Is that, okay. I don't think that's ever gonna be used for anything. you
No,
know.
probably not. It's a dead end. It ain't going nowhere, and it is served by, will be served by this house and the other house.
Across the way, yeah. Okay. All right, so everybody understands the relief that they need, correct? It's right there where the garage is. It goes down that little way. And it appears that, well, there's obviously no possible way you.
Actually, I guess the petition did just say relief from front setback, so they're not really giving the amounts, so I guess maybe they're okay as far as that goes.
Yeah, it's, when I read I'm trying to understand if they are interpreting this as a corner lot. I guess they are. They're not meeting it on the front side of the Locust Street, although they might be with setback averaging, so I would probably with those houses there, so that would work, or no more than a third of the depth of the lot, which it probably isn't either. What is this lot, the depth? 92, well, yeah, okay, so they'd still be able to meet it. Okay, so they need that relief right there to get into their garage. They may also need relief from the Board of Health to put their septic system right over there, but that's not for us, that's for them. Did you get permission from the Board of Health to put that septic system in yet?
We are waiting for this variance to go through.
Oh, okay. They'll, well, I won't speak for that.
'Cause they may have issues too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have questions for the petitioner? Dick, do you have any questions for the petition?
That was my only real concern. I think it's a nice home, and it's a good thing for the neighborhood and all that good stuff, but, you know, I always worry about precedent-setting things and so forth, so I do have to, I am a little concerned about these setbacks.
Okay. Barbara, do you have any questions?
No, not at this point, no.
Okay. John?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Anthony?
No, I drove by the property. I've seen it, so I see what they're looking to do and how to improve that space. It is kind of a weird. Locust Street is kind of a weird with the location on the side. So I think that adds. But I don't have any questions for the applicants right now.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any questions either. Let me just look here for a second. Don't think we have any. Do we have any? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I got some correspondence. We have some correspondence. We read them in. From a Justin O'Connor. Dear Bridget and Gregor, we wholeheartedly support your plan to add this structure to your property. We trust your aesthetic and know that your new build will be handled in a manner that will fit in the neighborhood. Good luck with your endeavor. Cheers, Justin and JP. Okay, dear members of the board, I am a neighboring property owner residing at 36 Locust Street, and I'm ready to express my full support for the variance request submitted by Gregor Metasinker and Bridget Leitner Metasinker for the property located at 27 Locust Street. After reviewing the proposed plans for the garage addition, I do not believe the project will have any negative impact on the surrounding properties. It will not obstruct views, reduce privacy, or alter the overall character of the neighborhood. On the contrary, the improvements appear thoughtful and well integrated into the existing context of our community. For these reasons, I respectfully encourage the board to approve this request. Sincerely, Justin O'Connor and JP McGranahan. Let's see. I have maybe an email or a letter from Diane Folks. A letter of support for variance request 27 Locust Street, South Yarmouth, 02664. To the Yarmouth Zoning Board, dear members of the board, I am a neighboring property owner residing at 19 Locust Street, and I am writing to express my full support for the variance request submitted by Gregor Metasinker and Bridget Leitner Metasinker for the property located at 27 Locust Street. After reviewing the proposed plans for the garage addition, I do not believe the project will have any negative impact on the surrounding properties. It will not obstruct views, reduce privacy, or alter the overall character of the neighborhood. On the contrary, the improvements appear thoughtful and well integrated into the existing context of our community. For these reasons, I respectfully encourage the board to approve this request. Sincerely, Diane Folks, 19 Locust Street. That's the extent of our correspondence. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Mr. and Mrs. Mitasinker?
No?
Okay, all right. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone. Seeing none.
There's
Does
someone
anyone-
coming up to the microphone, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
I'm Mark Reimers, and I live at 29 Locust Street, across the way. Like
Okay,
right across,
can
the little private way.
Yeah,
I don't mind them building the garage or anything. I just ask that they keep that private way area clear, because that's the only access I have to my property and my driveway.
okay, all right, no. That's all, no, we wouldn't be allowing them to do anything other than just build the garage on their property.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Anyone else care to speak in favor?
There's a couple of more folks, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I'm also, I live at a 54 Evergreen, which is the back side of the property.
Okay.
And so I have no problem with the addition. It's just that, much like Mark said, that, extension from Locust Street, that actually goes to my backyard. I have a double gate there, which I only use occasionally if I have construction or something that has to go in there for tree work, whatever. And because I have a septic tank on my side of my house, that's the only way to get to the backyard. So keeping that clear is important, even during construction, because if they have construction materials in that area, if something happened with my septic or a tree or something in the back, I couldn't get back there either without using that extension, much like Mark has some similar things, so.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Thank you.
And one more, I think, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
My name is Jack King. I live at 31 Locust Street. I'm in support of Gregor and Baird for their addition. I think it'll be a welcome to the neighborhood. I think the neighborhood could use a nice, keep the properties up, and it'll add value and everything like that. So I just wanted to say that I, consider them, I hope they get their variance and stuff. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in opposition to this petition? If so, please come to the microphone. Seeing none, okay. We're now going to close the hearing to the public and begin board deliberations. Mr. Martin, your thoughts?
I'm just looking for the total lot coverage here in terms of the amount of
I
area.
think if you look at their plan, their lot coverage proposed is 21.2, maximum is 25, so they're under the
Okay, so
lot
they are under
coverage.
that. Okay.
Existing is 14.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know everybody's for this, and I would normally be for it. I think this is another scenario where we've got a situation where we're getting too big a house on a small lot, for one thing, but that happens a lot, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I just do worry about the what's the word I was looking for? I lost already.
Precedent?
The precedent, thank you, of allowing this property to be 1 to 2 feet from the from a street layout. And I mean, I know it's not 30 feet from the other side either, but at least it's 22 or something on that side. And 2 feet, I've got some trouble with. So as much as I would like to agree with this, I'm not sure I can.
Okay. Barbara?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. John, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's a nice home, and it's certainly be an improvement. I too have a little concern about how close we're getting to that property line, but I don't know, I'd like to hear more feedback from the board on that.
Okay, all right. Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, if you look at the, what is it, second page of the site plan, you know, I certainly think they meet the criteria for the uniqueness of the property. It's an odd street, it's on the corner, it's the setback requirements on the side are kind of weird because there's that secondary street I think that meets all the criteria for what is necessary for a variance and whether it's applicable to get over that hurdle for us as a board. But looking at the signs, I don't think Dick's, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but I don't think it's going to be as close to the line as he thinks it's going to be. So with the side property line, that's what we're in charge with, is whether or not it's the setback to the property line, which they're entitled as proprietors to the midway of the line and allowed to go towards that. So there's about 15.8 feet on that side, which I think is appropriate. We've authored that before for variances. And if you look at the other plan that they have, which is a little less clear, the proposed garage, there's an additional 16.5 feet on, I guess, the left-hand side when you're looking at that plan, the proposed garage plan towards that road. That's what's needed for road traffic to get in and out. I think it's fine from my perspective. So I would be in favor of it. If we have to have a condition of during construction that it maintains clear, that's sufficient for me. So I'd be prepared to move on that, but I'm welcome to hear your thoughts, Sean.
Okay. Well, the history of this piece of property right here, if I can date myself, because my family actually used to have a house over on Evergreen Street many, many years ago. We ride our bicycles, we cut through there, and that gentleman who says he lives at Evergreen Street there, I think we used to cut right through his yard on our bicycles, but I think that's before he owned it, so I'm sure it wasn't him who chased us out of the yard. But it is kind of a piece of property that little street right there, it's kind of like no one ever uses it. It's really not recognized as a street per se. It's more like a shared driveway with the two houses that go down there. Now, the gentleman who lives on Evergreen Street, that particular, he's got it, because he always had access into the back of his lot, as I recall. He says he's got a little fence or something, a gate that he put up, and that's how he accesses his backyard. As I recall, it was kind of an exclusive little use for those three properties. The gentleman that got up and spoke that owned across the way, our petitioners, and of course the gentleman on Evergreen Street. So I think really it's a little, and I don't even know if I call it a roadway. I'd call it a little maybe lane at best. That's really not maintained, and I don't think, but for the three of those properties, anyone's ever going to use it. I appreciate the fact about setting a precedent. I think if this had a little bit more use, then I might have more of a concern with it. But given the fact that it's very exclusive really to just three property owners, and it will always really be those three property owners, because there's no way the town could ever cut a road through there. I mean, I guess conceivably they could, but they wouldn't, because they'd go right into that gentleman's backyard and go right out to Evergreen Street. So that's not something that the town, I believe, would ever do. It is a unique little piece of property here. It is kind of an odd shape. I don't know if that is considered a corner lot or not. It's interesting. But if it is, then truly they have a hard time meeting all of these setbacks. So while I do agree with Dick about not setting any precedents that would come back and haunt us in the future, I think given the uniqueness of this particular street and how it relates to this property, okay, I think one could say that they do meet the criteria of variance. And while it is a pretty good sized house, it appears from all their other setbacks that they're meeting them quite nicely. And if you do give them some credit as to coming out to that street, that it doesn't really intrude on anybody, that gives them really some extra property. Not that they're gonna take advantage of it, but for use it as a driveway. So for those reasons, I could vote for this, and I'm going to support it and recommend that the board support it as well. Thank you. Having said that, is anybody prepared to make a motion?
I would make a motion to approve as requested.
Okay. Anybody prepared to second the motion?
I'll second that motion.
All right. We have a motion made and no conditions, correct? Just what's represented on their plans they submitted, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to approve the petition as requested.
Mr.
variance.
Chairman, I just had a question. Maybe
Seconded by John. Do we have any
If I
further
could-
discussion on it?
Yeah, if I could just add another question.
Sure.
When I look at the plan with the pictures, and first of all, I apologize, your new driveway is going to be out to the front of the house apparently as well, and not to the side, correct? Am I correct? Okay. But the second plan on here, is that just a mistake, or why are they saying, showing completely different than where the septic's going, and the setback, saying that that's actually the side property line, which if you look at this map anyways, is different. And so that's kind of the thing I was looking at most.
Are you looking at the plan, Dick?
Yeah, I was looking at the plan,
Because
and
that wouldn't control.
and that's
it
the
would be
plan that I was
standard
saying,
site,
where
yeah.
the garage was just a couple feet from the so-called street layout. And the second page of the other shows the side property line is still being 15 feet away, which I don't believe is correct.
Yeah, we had initial filing. Maybe you have an older plan. We actually worked with the department, to have that adjusted for the final submission. So the building inspector gave us some instructions. So you might have an older version of the plan.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that, I guess.
We actually resurveyed the property based on feedback from the building inspector.
So you resurveyed the property based on essentially saying that half that road's yours?
No.
Sorry,
No.
I don't mean to be difficult.
No, we had an incomplete plan submitted, and then we had to actually resurvey the plan to make sure that the setbacks are all accurate. So you have to look at this plan, which was submitted.
So,
The one with all
not
the.
this one, you're saying? This is the one I have
Stamp on
problems
it?
with. If it was this one, page 2 on this, that would make me feel a lot better.
I actually have another question too, that relates to the plan. On the second floor, how many bedrooms is this house proposed to have?
Right now it has 2. It will have 1 more.
3 bedrooms. Do you have a septic plan that you submitted with this?
Yeah, we have a stamped septic plan, but we haven't submitted it to the health department. But I think it was submitted to the building inspector. So we're expanding the leach field.
Okay, I would kind of like to see that. I'm not sure, the elevations. Are you raising your foundation in this house?
I don't believe so.
You don't believe so?
It's not in the flood zone.
Okay. Um. Okay. I'm just trying to read the elevations. They got top of foundation at 50. This plan doesn't show any elevations, not that I can see. Oh, wait a minute, catch basin elevation 50. Okay, all right, well, I guess they're not. All right, so the foundation's not going up any higher, is that correct?
Correct.
And everything on this second floor is all storage?
Of the garage?
Above the garage, you have it listed as storage.
Yes, correct.
Okay, see to the left, that other one, it says storage as well.
Correct.
On the second floor, you've got one bedroom, a loft, and then quite a bit of storage up there.
Yeah, the roof line is gonna not be full size there.
Right, okay, so you'll be able to walk through there probably?
I don't think so.
You have no way, the only way you get above the garage is a pull-down staircase?
Yes, exactly, because of we can't fit a stair in there.
Okay, okay. And your plans are for a 3-bedroom septic system?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll put a condition on here that there'll be no more than 3 bedrooms in this house?
Sounds good.
Is that okay to the motion maker?
That's fine by me.
Anthony?
Yeah, yes. Sean, that's fine.
Okay. And, John, you made the second?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine, okay, so that's the only condition is that it'll be no more than a 3-bedroom. Dick, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
That's
Is
all
your
right,
only
go ahead.
bath on the first floor off the garage? Am I right about that?
No, this is the house is existing. We have a bedroom and a bathroom.
There's a bedroom, bathroom upstairs I see on that plan.
We have a bathroom.
This
bedroom.
plan shows the bathroom. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but shows the door into the bathroom, the only bathroom that shows. Off the garage.
That's new construction. We have an existing bathroom and 2 bedrooms downstairs. The building is right now has a bedroom.
Yeah, oh, so these things that say existing.
Yeah.
Are existing, there's existing 2 bedrooms that are downstairs now. And the other little existing must be a bathroom.
Correct.
I think it doesn't say that, but,
It's on, I see it.
all right, well. Okay. I get confused easy. I don't think I have any other questions.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion made by Anthony, seconded by John. We've had discussions on it. The only condition is that it remain a 3-bedroom home. Hearing nothing further, moving the question. Anthony, how do you vote?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Dick?
I gotta abstain, I'm sorry.
Abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, I vote aye. That's 4 in favor, 1 abstention. The variance is granted. Now, I'll tell you, once the decision is drafted and it's clocked with the town clerk, 20 days must elapse. That's a technical appeal period. After that 20 days goes by, Dolores will contact you. You can come in and get your variance and take it over to the Registry of Deeds in Barnstable Village and record it. And then please bring a copy back for our records. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now. All right. Our next petition is petition here. Is petition 5206 to continue from 1/8/26. William Bravo, trustee of the William A. Bravo Revocable Trust, property located at 147 Run Pond Road. It's in an R25 zoning district. The applicant was seeking a special permit for 104.3 subparagraph 2 for increase in height of a pre-existing non-conforming structure to construct a second floor addition and third floor habitable attic with outdoor deck. There is a letter requesting to withdraw from Attorney Tardif. Good evening, Attorney Tardif.
Good evening, Mr. Igo. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Would you like me to read this letter into the record?
You don't have to. I just would like to withdraw this application without prejudice at this time.
Okay. Do we have a motion from someone on the board?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Dick, seconded by Anthony to allow the petitioner to withdraw without prejudice. Any discussion on it? Hearing none. Mr. Martin?
Aye.
Ms. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Mantoni?
Aye.
Bianco?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That's 5 in favor, none against. The petitioner is allowed to withdraw without prejudice.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Moving on to our next petition, which is petition 5214, Tony Oscar and Altagrace Souverain.
Well done.
Okay, thank you. Property located at 43 and 45 Catherine Michael Road and 47 and 49 Catherine Michael Road in Yarmouthport. Lot number 125.4 and 125.3. It's in an R40 zoning district as well as the APD. The applicant seeks a special permit per 104.3.5 paragraph 2 to combine 2 abutting bare lots to create 1 buildable lot. Good evening, Attorney Tardif.
Good evening. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Paul Tardif. I'm an attorney in Yarmouthport, and I do represent the applicants, Mr. Oscar and Mr. Souverain. They own the 2 properties that you just referenced, and I know it sounded like 4 properties, but it's actually 2. So a lot of these lots were numbered that way because there's a lot of duplexes on this portion of town. So these are 2 abutting lots. They're unimproved. They're in the R40 zoning district. One contains 8,500 square feet. The other one has 9,134 square feet. The plan is to combine the 2 lots together to create 1 lot with 17,634 square feet. It would have 175 feet of frontage on Catherine Michael Road. Pursuant to Yarmouth zoning bylaw section 104.3.52, I'm on the right side, the zoning board of appeals can grant a special permit when the owner or owners of abutting lots, whether or not the lots are currently developed, wish to combine or redivide such lots, but where one or more of the existing lots do not conform to the current dimensional requirements, and where one or more of the resulting lots will not conform to the current dimensional requirements. So the project, in order to meet the criteria for the special permit, must meet the following conditions. A, the combination or redivision does not increase the number of non-conforming individually buildable lots over the number of such lots as presently exist. In this case, we are talking about 2 unimproved pre-existing lots, which when reconfigured will become 1 unimproved lot. B, the combination or redivision shall not increase any pre-existing nonconformity nor create any new nonconformity as to any existing structure or use of the lots. And I think we covered this ground in some other petitions in the past, but I don't think that this section really applies in this circumstance, and I'll explain why. Massachusetts has an odd quirk when it comes to lots created by the division of land under the subdivision control laws existing structures exemption, which is codified in Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 81L. That section allows the planning board to endorse a plan through the approval not required process when a tract of land on which 2 or more buildings were standing when the subdivision control law went into effect in a city or town is divided into separate lots, each of which one of such buildings remains standing. In other words, if you had 2 structures on a lot and you wanted to divide, put a line between them, you can go to the planning board for an A&R plan, and they will approve or endorse your plan to draw that line. But when you draw the line too close to structures so that it now does not conform to the setback requirements of zoning, then they have to make a stop at this board. And it's been this board's position. I think I've seen numerous cases where people have tried to do that, and if it's not, if it doesn't comply with the current zoning when you draw the line, it's a variance. It's not even a special permit because you're the one that put the line there. So it usually comes into effect when you are affecting structures on the lots. In this case, we have 2 unimproved lots, so we're not even drawing a line, we're removing a line. So we're not going to be running afoul of any pre-existing structures. The use stays the same under the R40 zoning district. So in this case, we're just making it bigger. The reason this came to be was that we wanted to look and see if we could build on both of these lots. With the new Affordable Homes Act, which basically has eliminated merger to the greatest extent, that act did 2 things. It eliminated merger with the intent that they were hoping that there'd be more buildable lots out there because we need housing, obviously. But what the statute says is it's not merged, and you can build on it as long as it has 10,000 square feet and 75 feet of frontage on a way. If it doesn't, then you can't. So the first thing we looked at was, I went right to the bylaw and looked for the single lot exception, and this does not apply, obviously. We have 2 lots next to each other by the same owner. Then I went to the next section, which is 2 or 3 abutting properties can also still be built upon, but in this case, it didn't work because the applicants also own a property abutting on the back of these lots. So that was out as well. So then we went to the Affordable Homes Act, and that wouldn't allow us either because we don't have 10,000 square feet on either of these lots. So then I met with Mr. Grills, and we sat down and looked at section 104.3.52, and he agreed that this is probably the best way to get this lot to be used for something. Remember also that this section of town, and I don't know if you went up there today, but it's the area behind, I call it Pizza by Evan. I don't know what it's called now. It's what is it? Gardens. Oh, it's the gardens, yeah, but it's that whole area back there, okay? And you know, you've been out there, multiple duplexes on lots such as 8,500 square feet and 9,100 square feet. These are, and that's a great development out there. These 2 lots, obviously, were purchased back in the past. For some reason, they were never built upon. But if they were built as part of the gardens, this lot would have up to 4 dwelling units on it. We're just trying to put these 2 lots together to make one buildable lot. That's it. And it's actually going to be probably bigger than most of those other lots in that entire area. The last section that we have to meet under that bylaw is section C, which says if more than one adjoining vacant non-conforming lot is created by or is the result of the combination or redivision, it may be approved for construction, and then it has certain criteria. However, we stop right there because we are not creating more than one adjoining vacant, non-conforming lot. We're creating just one. So that doesn't apply either. Then the last section is D, which is the development and use of all the resulting and affected lots would be consistent with the current and future development of the neighborhood and zoning district, not substantially contribute to any undue nuisance, hazard, congestion, the usual special permit requirements. It's our position that creating one lot which can hold one house is not going to substantially contribute to any undue nuisance. In fact, it's going to be just the opposite, where you have the great density of duplexes on small lots. Here you're going to have a 17,500 square foot lot with one house, which I think really is more in keeping with the bylaw, because we know that those duplexes would never be allowed to be built upon nowadays because they don't have the area in the R40 zoning district. And I also want to point out that section 104.3.51, the introductory paragraph to this section, says, it's the intention of this subsection to accomplish maximum feasible compliance with the intent and purpose of the current zoning bylaws where full compliance is not possible, but where development of the available land may otherwise be accomplished without substantially derogating from the intent and purposes of bylaws. So we believe that this project's in keeping with the purpose of the bylaw. I think it meets the requirements of that bylaw, and that a special permit is appropriate in this case. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Attorney Tarda. Anthony, do you have any questions for Attorney Tarda?
No, thank you, Paul. That was very thorough. I appreciate it. Thanks. Matt.
John?
No questions.
Barbara?
No questions?
Dick?
One little confusion I have, which is, I guess, you're ahead of me on this too, I'm sure, but you said the petitioners own a property in back?
It's on the Weir Road side.
Okay, all right. Aren't they good for up to 3 lots as opposed, two, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's just that the house that they own on Weir Road is a double lot.
That explains to that.
There you go, so. Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I think this is a proper and logical situation where relief should be granted, and it's certainly going to, as you say, be a lot better having one unit on this property than 4 units that would otherwise have been the case when if it had been developed the same way the rest of the property was, and as condominiums, actually duplex condominiums. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Attorney Tardif, I want to thank you for explaining that section of the bylaw, very succinct way. That's that particular section, when you read through it, it's kind of a mind twister. If you really don't know how to look at it, you went section by section there and did a great explanation of giving us certain examples of how they may apply. So if nothing else, it was a great learning experience.
No charge.
I have nothing to add. I do agree with Dick. I think this is certainly the logical, and this is the proper application of the bylaw as it pertains to these 2 particular lots. And I do think it makes sense to allow them to combine them and to make them a lot that they could build on. I mean, there's no sense in leaving these 2 pieces of property undeveloped. That's certainly not the highest and best use of the property. They're not being set aside for conservation. They're owned by someone, that person's paying taxes on them. And they should have the benefit of the use of those 2 particular lots, I believe. And I think our bylaw does in fact provide for that. So I certainly would be in favor of this petition as well. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone. Good
If I
evening.
understood properly, they said you're building one house? What
Excuse
are our
me.
guarantees that once you own the property, you don't throw up something with a bunch of tenants?
You want us to make a condition that there's only one house on there?
Well, it can be a duplex. I mean, I'd be kind of a hypocrite if I said it couldn't be a duplex, but,
Well, I don't know.
Mr.
but I
Chairman,
mean, is it against the rules if somebody went in there and built like a 6-apartment building?
Yeah, I don't think that would
They'd have to
be
come
allowed.
back to us to ask for that type of relief.
Couldn't fly.
Yeah. So it's going to be one house.
Paul would
Excuse
have
me.
a hard time explaining.
yeah, I would.
I'll go along with that.
Will,
Thanks.
Excuse me, ma'am, could you identify yourself for the
Oh,
record,
I'm
please?
sorry, Kathleen Gagne. I live in the gardens.
Mr. Chairman, the intent is that this would be a single-family lot, which would, obviously, if there is room for an ADU like every other lot in town, it could do that, but I don't know if that's the intention. I'm not even sure if these applicants are going to be building it, so, but it's not our intention to build a 6-unit apartment building.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this petition?
Hello, my name is James Vasey. I live at 35 Catherine Michael Road in the Gardens. Not speaking in opposition, just of concern. In the Gardens, we have a wonderful community. Everybody takes care of themselves. They get along, and they do the best to keep their property up. The property that he's speaking of, I don't think anybody would have objections to having a single-family home there or even a duplex. We currently have 2 other single-family homes in our complex, and the people there are very nice. We all get along together, and we treat them as part of our residence, inviting them to functions as well. I would ask the board, though, that if there is a variance, that the members of the Gardens Association could be notified to speak out once we find out what's going to be constructed there. That's our largest concern right now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak either in favor or in opposition? Seeing none. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Attorney Tardif?
No, thank you.
Okay. Then we will close the hearing to the public, begin board deliberation. Anthony, your thoughts?
I'm happy, yeah, I'm happy to have it move forward as I proposed. If anyone wants to have a conversation, I'm okay with that too, but I would make a motion that we approve as requested.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by who, you, John?
No, Dick.
Oh, Dick. Okay, all right. All right. Anyone wish to have any discussion on the motion? The only thing I would add is I do think they meet the criteria of the bylaw, especially the last part that was read by Attorney Tardif. It seems like this is the proper fit under the bylaw for us to be able to do this. And I do think it's improving it by taking 2 lots and combining them into one. Having said that, any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we're going to take a roll call. Dick?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Could we look forward to a draft decision, Attorney Tardif?
You can. I'll have it to you tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're on the next one, so don't go too far.
Okay.
Okay. Are you set up for the next one yet, Paul? You want me to give you a minute?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. The next petition is petition 5215, Joseph and Deanna DeCipio. Property is located at 6 Chilton Road in West Yarmouth. It's in an R25 zoning district. The applicant seeks a special permit per 104.3.2 subparagraph 2 to raise and replace a pre-existing non-conforming structure, making the structure less non-conforming. Good evening, Attorney Tarter.
Good evening. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Paul Tardif, an attorney in Yarmouthport, and I do represent the applicants, Joseph and Deanna DeCipio, and I know Mr. DeCipio can't be here in person, but I think he is here by Zoom, so, if we ever have questions that I can't answer, he is here as well. So, the property is located in the R25 zoning district, and the lot actually contains 10,320 square feet, but 7,300 of square feet of that is upland, and is improved currently with a one-story duplex, which was built in approximately 1940. On this plan that I'm showing here, this is the existing right here, and you can see it is right on Mill Creek. Chilton Road is a very short road. It's a dead end. Obviously, it dead ends right at the applicant's property. The entire property is located within 100 feet of the top of the coastal bank, the entire property, which is traditionally dictated where the house was situated on that lot. So I have a feeling it was built there because of those concerns. The existing structure is 26.7 feet from Chilton Road this way, and this is the driveway where I'm pointing right here. They come in off of Chilton in there. It's 5 feet from the easterly side boundary, which is over here. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Right here, it's 5 feet off that road, off that boundary. And 18.8 feet from the rear boundary, which is over here, and this is where the septic system is located. And 24.5 feet from the limit of the coastal beach. The existing septic system is going to be retained, and as I indicated, it's pretty much the entire area that you're seeing here. The lot coverage is currently at about 17%, and the height is currently about 12 to 14 feet, depending on how you measure it. It is in a flood zone. It has all the curses, all the pimples that you don't want to see. However, the proposal is to remove that structure and replace it with a 2-story single-family dwelling with 4 bedrooms. That's how many bedrooms are currently between the single family and actually the duplex. Because of the proximity to the wetlands and the shape of the lot, the location of the house is really quite limited. You really can't shift this very much any which way because you have wetlands all in the front. You have a septic system on this side, and you have a limited driveway because the riprap comes right through, creating this triangle. That's all you have. So it really can't go very far from where it is. So the improvements, well, we're going to leave it exactly where it is from Chilton Road. The side setback will be improved by moving the house a foot further away. So we're coming from 5 feet here. It's going to be 6 feet over here. Not a big improvement, but they're trying. And it also does shorten that side of the house a little bit. The septic, because of where that is, we really can't move the house anywhere that side because we can't put the septic anywhere else. Lot coverage with the addition of this deck right here, which doesn't have, it's sort of a walkway here, but there's a deck here, and then we're squaring off this area right here, you can see up here. We're going to be getting to 23.5% lot coverage, still underneath the 25%. The height will increase to 26 feet. It's going to be flood compliant with the flood vents into the basement. It's a nice improvement. Show you. And that's the rendering. It's 2-story, but it's not huge. It's well done because of the size of the lot. I think it really had to be something like that. I think that's what we want on our waterfront properties. I'll tell you that the project was before the Yarmouth Conservation Commission on December 18 of 2025, and that they have issued an order of conditions. I have a copy right here. So they liked the project where it was, and the applicant also secured approval to demolish the existing building from the Historic Commission on January 9th because of its age, over 75 years. The abutter immediately to the east, which is right, whoop, can't see it on that side. So you have this abutter right here, who is probably the most affected because of going from 5 feet to 6 feet. And the gentleman who lives across the street here have both submitted letters that you have supporting the project, which is kind of important because of, you know, how tight this is and how small a little neighborhood this is. Pursuant to Yarmouth zoning bylaw 104.322, the single-family and two-family structures can be altered, extended, or raised and replaced with special permit if it's determined that such raise and replace will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than is the existing structure. So it has to be substantially more detrimental. I don't believe that there's any detriment. I believe that this project meets the criteria. There have been dwelling units on the property for 86 years. The change from a duplex to a single-family dwelling will reduce traffic on the road, parking, and trips in and out of the site, and the parking demand. It's pretty significant based on the small side street that is Chilton Road. The construction of the home, again, to be flood compliant is a benefit. The new construction methods, the aesthetics that I showed you. Although slight, the improvements to the setback making that that nonconformity better is an improvement as well as the approval from the abutters, which affects this project. So we hope that the board can issue the special permit, understand that this is an old structure that needs to be updated, and this will be good for the neighborhood and also for the town for a number of different reasons, aesthetically and also for the tax base. So we thank you for your time. If you have questions, again, I'm here, and Mr. DeCipio is, I think, here somewhere. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I do have some correspondence I am going to read into the record. I do have a memo here from Historic Review that shows it was approved. I have a letter from Jeff Mazzamaro. He lives at 9 Chilton Road, which is across the street. And he writes that we strongly support the application for the reconstruction of a new home on their property, as it will be a tremendous addition to the street and neighborhood. And that's from Jeff and his wife Cheryl. I have another letter here from Tom Mazzamaro. He lives at 6 Chilton Road. Dear Zoning Board, we live at 10 Chilton Road, and our direct neighbors literally next door to Joe and Deanna DeCipio. We happily support the application for the reconstruction of a new home on their property. This has been a long time coming, and we will be a great addition. I think it will, and they will be a great addition to our neighborhood. We approve 100%. Tom and Robin Mazzamaro. Then I have a memo here from to the Zoning Board of Appeals from Joe Gerolimo, Conservation Agent, regarding property at 6 Chilton Road, dated February 2nd, 2026, and regarding petition 5215, 6 Chilton Road, West Yarmouth, at its November 20th, December 4th, and December 18th, 2025 hearings. The Conservation Commission heard a notice of intent for the proposed raise and replace of a single-family dwelling in LSCSF and the 35-foot buffer to a coastal bank and beach. The commission issued the order of conditions for SE 83-2503 on 1/6/26. The approved plan set titled Site Plan number 6 Chilton Road, 2 sheets, was last revised on December 8th, 2025. That is the extent of the correspondence.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
There's actually an email that came in on February 10th from Martin Dougal, a letter of support.
Okay, we'll note his letter of support.
Okay.
We will put that with the others. What is his address, Doris?
41 Standish Way, sir.
Okay, he's right there up the top of the street. Okay. All right, we're gonna go to questions. Dick, do you have questions?
No, I think it's a beautiful house, and it's changing a duplex to a very attractive single-family home, and I see no problem at all with the proposal.
Okay. Barbara?
Yeah, the riprap are they adding to that, or is it existing? I can't really see it on this map.
I believe it's existing.
It's existing, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No questions. I think it's being a nice improvement. Nice.
Okay, Anthony?
I have nothing.
I don't have any questions either. I am familiar with the property. I think it's gonna be a great improvement. I think, from, what they're doing, again, as stated, from a duplex to a single-family home is certainly improvement. And, a less nonconformity. I think it's a beautiful house, very tastefully designed. I think it's gonna fit very well into that neighborhood and on that street. I think the biggest hurdle that they were gonna overcome would have been with the Conservation Commission, and they seem to be okay with it, and they've issued an order of conditions. I think they meet the criteria of the bylaw, and, I do plan on supporting it, and I urge the board to support it as well. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone.
Come on up. Nope.
None?
Oh,
Yes?
No one in favor, sir. Looks like there's some in opposition.
If there's someone who wishes to speak in opposition, please come to the microphone.
Is Margaret Mackey. She owns a house right behind the petitioner's house on 13 Bradford
yeah,
Road.
all right, I know where her house is. Good evening, ma'am. How are you tonight?
Good. Little upset.
Please tell us your concerns.
It'll block my view that I've had for 46 years. They've got water all around them. A one family would be just a one level house would do so they could have all the view that they wanted, but they wouldn't be blocking the neighborhood behind them.
Okay.
This is the
okay.
second time that somebody's had to increase the size of the house. The last time was probably about 7 years ago, and it was disproved because of, it just affected so many people in the neighborhood behind them.
Okay, all right.
And my son he's in the business, so he could probably tell you a few things.
Just quickly, it's just a big house on a small lot. That's what it comes down to, And it is, we're right behind it. We're close to the abutters. So it's just gonna be this gigantic house that's gonna tower over every house right in that general area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have anyone else that wishes to comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there's someone approaching
Go
the
ahead,
microphone.
sir. Okay.
Hello, my name's Eric Ray. I live over on Bradford Road as well. So it's the north lateral road just from Chilton towards 28.
Yeah.
I think a few of us do have back-facing second floor decks and balconies up there. So there is some concern where the current structure kind of lays down the elevation with a water line. Definitely raising up is going to block a lot of view from that. So I was just hoping for some clarification on exactly kind of where the proposed layouts and how much elevation increase we're looking at, but also just to raise concern as well with the obstruction of a large portion of view that we'll kind of all experience back on the Bradford Road side.
Okay, all righty, thank you very much. Do we have anyone else?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this time, Attorney Tarter?
Just a couple things. You know, and we're sympathetic about the blocked views, but as this board is well aware that no one has a right to a view unless you have a view easement. There is none that I'm aware of that entitles anyone to a view like that. The house might be bigger than what's there now, but it's not a big house. It meets the criteria for the town requirements. The town has instituted a 25% lot coverage calculation. They do that in a percentage form because houses can be different on different lots. And so this one actually does meet all of the percentages for the town requirements. The other thing is that it sits low because it's sitting in a flood zone. And so what we have to do is we have to get it out of the flood zone by raising that first level up so that we can get the water to flow underneath it if it ever came up. So that adds to it again. But again, we could have asked for 35 feet. Probably not a good location for that, especially on a smaller lot. 26 feet is what the plans are calling for. I think it's appropriate and it's tasteful, and I think that we'd like to have your consideration for the special permit. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd just like to kind of chime in here for a second relative to that too. We have run into these issues before in other neighborhoods when people say, well, you know, you're going to block our view, and we are sympathetic to that, but unfortunately, you know, the person who owns this lot has every right to put the house on it that, you know, they wish to, subject to certain board or town approvals. In terms of the size of this house, I think this house size-wise is very consistent with the houses that are around it, including the houses that are right behind it, and most of them that run along that side of the house, of the road that's right behind it. I'm familiar with most of that area, and a lot of those houses have been rebuilt over there, and they're similar size houses on similar size lots. So I think this house here, size-wise, would be very consistent with the houses that are there now. And so I did want to just mention that, and that, again, we have had to address this issue with block views in the past, and essentially our position is, you know, unless you own that property in front of your view there, I mean, unfortunately, you're not entitled to tell the person who owns the lot that they can't build up, which unfortunately may obstruct your view. I would say, though, that the lady behind us still has a nice view out her side property there, because that is all lovely property out there, and it has a beautiful water vista, and it's a really nice area. And so I hope that won't in any way cause any concern with her neighbor. Okay, it's not her neighbor's fault. It's the policy of the board and the town as to what property owners are allowed to do with their property. That's all I had. Does anyone else wish to have any comments?
If I could just add to that too, Sean, the two houses in back are already two-story houses, actually. And this proposal is going to decrease the actual footprint anyways of the house. So.
That's correct. And we're going from a duplex to a single-family home. Right. Barbara, your thoughts?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. John?
Well, nothing to add.
And Anthony?
I have nothing.
Okay. Is anybody prepared to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the petition as requested.
Okay. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made by John, seconded by Dick. Any further discussion? And just to say, in terms of meeting the criteria of the bylaw, I do believe that they do meet the criteria of the bylaw, that it's certainly not going to cause any undue nuisance, hazard, or congestion. If anything, it's gonna cost less than that because you're taking a two-family structure and reducing it to a one-family. So in fact, you're reducing the nonconformities in the neighborhood. And so for those reasons, and for other reasons, as we've already talked about, I do believe that the petitioner has met the criteria of the bylaw. We will now have a roll call. Anthony?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That passes 5 in favor, none opposed. Attorney Todd, if you understand certainly the 20-day appeal period after it's clocked with the town clerk, can I expect a draft decision from you?
You can.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we certainly wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Dolores, do we have minutes we need approved?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, January 8th and the 22nd.
Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Any other business, Dolores?
I think Anthony wants to say something. I don't know. No? Okay. He just had that.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, I hate to go through spilt milk here, but going back to the 27 Locust Street application, in re-looking at that and looking at the different plans, they've got different amounts of square footage. Matter of fact, they have included that half of the road layout as theirs as far as the lot amount goes in terms of the square footage of the lot, which would, I think, would then preclude the scenario relevant to square footage on the lot and so forth, or 25% of the lot. That and that there, and the plan that they had done up showed 10,000 something square feet, and the another plan showed 9,000 something square feet, and then of course the actual original plan shows 7,000 something square feet. So I think there were a lot of mistakes on that. Maybe too late now to do anything, but I guess I should have looked into it a little more before. But I think there's some, a lot of the application was not correct.
Well, not speaking to the accuracy of the plans, I would say that they did submit a stamped plan from an engineer showing the exact location on the lot. And so in terms of what they were actually asking for was a variance just for the setback for the garage, nothing else. So if it came to the attention of the building department that they needed further relief, then they would have to come back to this board. Okay. So the only thing that we granted relief for was that setback on whether we considered it a sideline or a front line setback, because it was determined to be a corner lot. Right. I guess it technically would have been a corner lot, although it's a little hard to, I don't even know if there is a name for that little.
It's part of Locust Street, yeah.
Is that part of Locust?
It is part of Locust, yeah.
It is, okay,
Yeah.
so on a map it is, because it didn't really look like it was labeled as Locust.
It did not. It looked like it was a private way.
It did?
I believe it was.
The one that I have, it's a little difficult to read, but I would just suggest that it is stamped by an engineer, so where that actual foundation will be located will be determined by where that stamped plan is. So what we actually voted in favor of was only that lot line relief on that particular side. We gave them no other.
Okay.
So and we limited it to a 3-bedroom because I do think that we I do think there was some
what's our
concern about the layout.
circumstances when somebody comes to us with false or incorrect information, especially even via a engineer, and we make our decisions based on that, do we have any recourse?
Well, in terms of the engineer's stamp, he's certifying, much like a notary public certifies that witnesses a document. He's certifying that that foundation is exactly where it's supposed to be, that he shot it with the transit and from proper measurements in certain locations, and that's where he determined that now, it's not there right now.
No.
Okay, there's nothing there right now. But when they put it in, they have to come back and they'll do what's called an as-built. And that as-built has got to be either dead on the money or within that line, or they would have to come back here. The only thing that we really did tonight was just to prove where that foundation is going and where it was relative to that line, that side line where that little lane comes in. We didn't approve anything as far as, and the only limitation we put on, because I do think we might have had a question on the layout of the house and everything, but we restricted it to 3 bedrooms. So they're, not to say they would do it, but if a subsequent purchaser came in and put in new bedrooms, then it would probably get picked up as a lot of these do afterwards.
My concern again is
we gave them permission for and what we didn't.
Is that essentially they are incorrectly saying that they own as part of their property half of the road layout, and that therefore makes their lot bigger and everything else goes.
Well, I think what they did is just they took a measurement to the center of the line.
Right.
I think that the actual measurement, if you expanded that plan, would have brought it back to their actual lot line. And like you said, originally, they're 2 feet off the lot line, which is what they are.
Yeah.
And normally, I don't think we would have done that. But in this case, we did it because I think we felt that
I understand.
It wasn't going to be
There's not going to be through traffic or anything like that.
non-conforming and no traffic and things like that. It was just limited to the 3 owners, 55 Evergreen and the other person across the way there.
Under the proprietor statute, if it's a private way, which at best this is, since it's not a public way, you do own to the midway of the line.
I know Locust is town, is a town way. Whether the Spurs anything different, it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, when I did look at that though, it didn't. I was a little confused with that, whether that was actually Locust or not. I mean, I can take a look at it. I mean,
It doesn't have any other name.
the hearing is closed, but I think since we have a quorum and we're on the record, I don't think we're out of bounds here.
Oh, it does
But
say
just
that
purposes-
that little section is private. Yep.
Yeah, so they would own to halfway. Under the proprietor statute, they would, a private way, you own halfway to the road of what abuts your property.
I think you're responsible. I don't know if you own it. Is that true?
Yeah.
Huh? Maybe, who knows?
All right, I'm laughing because I've had litigation in Sandwich over this exact thing for the last year and a half.
Well, then you're ahead of me.
Well, we're lucky we had Anthony sitting here
That's
tonight,
right.
Dick.
Right,
Yeah,
so
we-
lucky
we can
tonight.
certainly clarify that one.
Yeah, and this little map shows that that little spur is private. Yeah.
Okay. So are we good, Dick?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Anything else
Well,
I have,
if
I can
nothing
discuss
else,
with
we
the
have a
building
motion to
department.
adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I don't think we actually took the vote on the minutes. We got a little sidetracked.
Oh, please, let's, all those in favor, oh, yes, we did.
We? Okay,
Yeah, we did. We approved the minutes. Didn't we approve the minutes,
Yeah, we did.
everybody?
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, Dick started spilling milk, so.
I think I let that get through. Yeah.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. All